Okay, guys, yes, top of the moment to you. This is the Comrade Show. Please don't go away. Yes, a few days ago, a couple of days back, actually, I did a broadcast, asking a question, actually. And the question was, has Governor Obaseki become the undisputed godfather of Edo State politics? Of course, that question elicited a lot of comments, opinions expressed, counter opinions expressed, and all of that. And some people, probably took the subject matter a bit out of context. But I thought I'd just come and, and make some clarity of this. And the reason is very clear. Governor Obaseki spoke to the term Godfatherism in 2020. And you understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to make some sense out of this. And the reason why I made that broadcast at the time, therefore it's today, was that we've been hearing a lot of things. And of course, we've been told by sources that Asue Ighodalo has been, of course, anointed by the governor of Edo State as his successor, which I mean, for some of us, we don't have anything against that. I think Asue Ighodalo is a fine gentleman, as the case is. However, the process is such that it's eliciting, questions. As a matter of fact, let's not forget that there are only issues apparently between the governor and his deputy, and up to the extent that we have heard in recent time that the governor has said that for him to accept the public apology of Philip Shuaibu, Philip Shuaibu must publicly renounce his ambition to run for governorship in Edo State in 2024. These are missed, other information that is coming forth, with the hearsay, Governor Obaseki don't carry Asue Ighodalo go meet some critical stakeholders for Lagos and everywhere, to present Asue Ighodalo as his successor. And from the way things are going, they clear the road to make sure, man, as a matter of fact, it's been speculated that he wants, what's it called, the blessing of the PDP family in a way that there will be no contest. The guy will just, walk out through as the case is and all of that. But when I did that broadcast asking that question, a lot of people, like I said, had things to say, but I just picked out some three, guys who I believe genuinely, were making, their opinions known on this subject matter of Godfatherism. And this is what they had to say. I'm just going to read through. From Usas, Abbas said, my brother, when you are in power, you must choose your successor. Okay? What is Godfather? Godfather is when you leave office and you are still controlling the office. That is Godfather. Very correct. Very good. That's what he said. But from Elvis, L.Y. Elvis said, he is not a godfather. All leaders have preferred successors. He only become a godfather when he is controlling his successor. Let's say what is right. Well, that's from Elvis. Then from my brother, my friend, Moses Dokbolo, he had this to say, I thought you could only play Godfather when the person is already elected. We all have our preferred candidates, just like Obaseki does. That does not make us Godfathers. Very sensible. Of course, you are right, my brother. It doesn't make us, Godfathers as the case is. You understand? But we need to have some clear understanding of what Godfatherism is, political Godfatherism, particularly within the Nigerian context. Just to quickly answer my brother, Moses, Dokbolo there. I am not a politician. I am not holding political office and all of that. So my own preferred candidates or somebody I like to support, my stake in that may be actually be different from, somebody who's holding political office who wants to be succeeded by another person. Don't go away. I'll play the governor's video and his expose on Godfatherism. Where would I not come out to? Nigeria cruise. Yes, it is the Comrade Show.
Comrade Show. This is the Comrade Show.
Yes, my people, we are back. It is a Comrade Show. I'm gonna share the broadcast. Don't go away, and let's keep it rolling. In 2020, we know the history. We supported Governor Obaseki. We know how it was. Obaseki came through the ranks of, what's his name? Oshomole. When Oshomole was bringing Obaseki, he paved way for him. In fact, as a matter of fact, they reduced his deputy Odubu to like 0. You understand what I'm saying? He had ambition. We were aware. It was to contest and all of. But at the end of the day, everything was collapsed to ensure that Obaseki was the man. And as fate would have it, Obaseki refused to do the bidding of Oshomole, and of course, I think that's what probably led to some feud, some issues. Oshomole, exploring the power of Godfatherism, edged Obaseki out of the APC, disqualified him, and we thought that insult was too much, the power of Godfatherism was too much, and we supported Governor Obaseki in 2020 against Oshomole to ensure that Godfatherism died in Edo State. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I would think that based on our own what we did in 2020, Godfatherism had been buried. You understand the picture of what I'm saying now? And all of that. But is it really buried? Particularly, when I listen to this video first, if you're not listening to Ram, I can't tell you now. Some of this will happen for House of Assembly election in Edo State 2023, local government elections in Edo State 2023. Una can't judge whether what Governor Obaseki talks so and what really happened for Edo State not true, and whether we not get the legitimate right to ask the question when they ask so. But let's take it though. Let's listen to His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki.
It will be worse than military rule, where people who have nothing at stake, who have no checks and balance on them, can just arbitrarily decide that this is the way the Constitution should be interpreted or the constitutional players should operate. That's why that concept is. So whoever, if I become, or God forbid I become a godfather, I should be dealt with accordingly, because it is dangerous to the concept of democracy in our politics. I have said
That time, my excellency, the governor of Edo State, God forbid, it's worse. Godfatherism is dangerous to our democracy, but God forbid I ever try to become a godfather, I should be dealt with accordingly. Nigerians, in 2023, March to be precise, we had Edo State House of Assembly elections. In fact, it was one of the most shambolic the House of Assembly elections we've ever had. Further than that, early September, we had local government elections. As a matter of fact, people are still reeling from the shock. And these two elections were held, under the watch of His Excellency, who midwifed the process himself as the governor of Edo State and the chief security officer of Edo State. And all of us, we all knew, we saw what happened. The local government elections, there was no election. It was selection. And some people came to reveal, how true that is, I don't know, that the election that was to take place on Saturday, result was actually written on Thursday before the Saturday. And all of that. Now, can you juxtapose these practical realities with what the governor said and promised in 2020 when he himself told us how dangerous godfatherism is to democracy and what he has midwifed, what he has overseen in the House of Assembly elections and local government elections. Local government elections, today, the governor party has 18 over 18, 192 councillors over 192 councillors. In fact, it is the highest in the history of the state. We never even see that kind of one before. Why is that happening? This is why some of us are expressing concern and asking the question: is Governor Obaseki becoming the undisputed godfather in Edo State politics, as it were? Now, your answer is probably as good as mine. But however it is, you understand what I'm saying now? Now, for my friends that said, people who made comments, followers of the comedy show, said, look man, somebody can have a successor and not necessarily be a godfather. It's very true. And I equally understand that we may, actually have been influenced greatly by what is happening, in Nigeria and all of that. In my own thinking, I actually thought that Obaseki's election was going to, present Edo State different from what we have ever seen. An exemplary state, you understand what I'm saying, that other states in Nigeria can begin to, learn from. But somehow it has not been like that. And again, for those who said Godfathers control, politicians and those in office, it does not just start with the control. It starts with the process. And that process is the process of selection. Okay, before somebody is elected, when somebody is selected, the Godfathers now make way to ensure that the selected person must win. The anointed candidate must win. That is where it starts from. And for you to understand this, I went online. I went to Oxford reference to find out the meaning of Godfatherism. As a matter of fact, Oxford reference gave us the Nigerian meaning of Godfatherism. Make we read them together. Godfatherism is a term used primarily in Nigeria, correct, to refer to wealthy and powerful figures who assert political influence behind the scenes while often remaining out of the limelight. A classic godfather will have earned their money through government contracts or access to the country's oil wealth, and will have used their legacies to establish a network through which they can influence political development. A successful godfather, for example, will be able to shape not only who he nominated to contest election, but also who wins. End of quote. From what's his name? Oxford reference. Of course, this matter continue, go reach some other things. They gave me series of examples when I don't want to go into. That now the exact interpretation of what this matter is. Okay, so some of us are not stupid. I'm not stupid asking this question. Okay, I think that the governor has a right to nominate whoever he wishes to succeed him. I equally think too that even though I do not support Philip Shuaibu, and I believe he has no business in the next election, but we cannot take something away. He has a right to aspire. There is no constitutional provision that says he must not aspire. And if it is true that the governor has said for the Shuaibu to be forgiven, he must forgo his ambition, I think that is playing into that Godfatherism concept that we fought against in 2020, and that the governor affirmed and promised us in his words. In his words, Godfatherism is dangerous to our democracy. If, for God forbid, I ever try to become a godfather, I should be dealt with accordingly. His words. So when I came out to ask the question, is Governor Obaseki, has he now become the undisputed godfather, what we never wanted Oshomole to be in Edo State? I thought it was a legitimate question. My people, Nigeria are cruise. So long as we get our mouth, we're going to talk about it. Put your opinion there. It's just a short one, just to let us know. Say, man, this now, just to clear the matter from the words of the governor himself. You understand the picture from what I'm saying? So, put your comments. We they learn every day. We know they learn finish. But the only concern when I get is say, it did somehow very surprising to me. You understand what I'm saying now? This issue of Godfatherism. The reason why it's surprising to me is because if you are a governor or a elected officer, if you have done very well, you have finished well, anybody when you will say, now this one now you support, go get the support of the people, isn't it? But the truth matters that in Nigeria, like it's happening in Rivers State with Wike and the current governor of Rivers State, whom he anointed and cleared the way for to become governor of Rivers State, anyhow, we know that politicians do this to cover their tracks. Obaseki enjoyed overwhelming support in 2020. Obaseki governed alone in 2020. If there are questions to be asked for the last 4 years, most especially, Obaseki should respond alone. This is exactly what we want for future governors of Edo State. So all this one we're going to see, so gonna do, go Lagos, go to hold meetings, That's why we would be presented to some critical stakeholders and this and that and that and that. Come on now. Come on now. Now we Nigerians Nigerians are cruise. But we have to work together to correct it. That's why we don't find my money. I never even reach a matter. I think he's got the right to aspire if he wants to. But this process, it's got to be excellent. It's got to. In fact, we have a part since 2020. Godfatherism was dead and buried, and that is why I am very critical today of the Obaseki administration. Very, very critical, because all of those trappings of Godfatherism, we don't see there anyway. But people, me I play the video again when I watch them. When I make a comment, no quarrel, now we in Edo State. We go find out what this sort of matter out. I'll see you again. My name is Komendante Ore. I not forget. God bless you guys.
Our political life. And the reason is simple. You see, the Godfather has no constitutional responsibility. The Godfather acts outside of the Constitution, and he now controls people who are constitutional players. So if we allow that sort of situation to continue, it will be worse than military rule, where people who have nothing at stake, who have no checks and balance on them, can just arbitrarily decide that this is the way the Constitution should be interpreted or the constitutional players should operate. That's why that concept is. So whoever, if I become, or God forbid I become a Godfather, I should be dealt with accordingly, because it is dangerous to the concept of democracy in our politics. I have said...
This is the Common Show. This is